stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good afternoon. This says my very large cup, huh? A pretty big cup. It's actually, it can get bigger. There, now it's bigger. It makes smaller. There you go. Oh, I just don't have much enthusiasm today. I didn't let anybody know I was going live. I just went live because it's Thanksgiving. I don't want to fucking bug everybody all day. Yep. Yeah, let's go ahead and share it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay. Should I stay or should I go now? I just put it in here. Last live today. LOL. Put a little humor in it, right? Oh, it's got a nice little picture of me and my cup. That's always nice. I also want to cover third step promises while I'm here. Yeah, I had a pretty weird compliment. I'm still trying to figure it. And yeah, it was, I don't know that. Yeah. Maybe I should just tell my wife and keep it there. Somebody in a meeting said, and as a person who's been around for a little bit, they said, I don't know anybody that thinks of other people like Dion does. And I'm like, wow, man, thank you. I do. I try and think of other people. The reason that I do that is because I know what it means to not be a part of. I know what it means. You know, even right down to playing the recorder. I never got a chance to play the recorder. I turned the heat off because my wife is having hot flashes, and now I'm cold. So I'm going to go get a sweatshirt real quick. I've been wearing this one 2 days already. Here you go. We'll go with this one. So tie in with yesterday's podcast when we talked about hope dealers. That's right. I'm a hope dealer. I'm a hope dealer. Okay. All right. And on the back, my niece got this word because one day I need a sweatshirt that says hope dealer. And they're like, what do we put on the back? Okay. Have you ever noticed I always, yeah. It's not the soda, it's the ice. I chew on ice. It helps my anxiety. I don't have to do it as much though. But whenever I go get ice, I'd be ice crusher, crush my ice. I am the ice crusher. So, but today we're going to talk a little bit about, do we let it go or do we let it stay? Because I hear a lot of letting go, and really it's something inside. And if it's something with us, we don't let it go. No. You know, I got to check something here real quick. Because she said it's shareable from her page. No. It just has the send, not share. All right. None of your stuff is that way. It's because you have your privacy set. No biggie. You're allowed to do that. All right. Like I said, I also like to cover the third step promises. Let's do some introductions here real quick. And really, I love the grassroots know, and I put this in Trudging Together, but other than that, probably wouldn't expect too many people. It's Thanksgiving, people are doing stuff. So, welcome to Daily Trudge up here. Say hello, whether you're watching it live or the rewatch. And this sweatshirt's too hot. The sweatshirt's too hot. I'm a creature of comfort. So I'd rather deal with it being a little cold than too hot. Do we know who this is? Do you know who this is? I'll give you a hint. It's not Harry Potter. All right. Let's go to the third step promises first. Right? And the reason I want to go to third step promises on this is because it kind of tells us, the thought of, getting out of self, helping other people. I've just seen too many situations, and with somebody who's empathic and you can feel other people's emotions, it hurts even more. It does, so let's just get to it. Now, before I get to that, actually, let's just, this is the how and why of it. First, we had to quit playing God. Didn't work. Next, we decided that hereafter in this drama of life, God was going to be the director. He is the principal and we are his agents. He is the father and we are his children. Most good ideas are simple, and this concept was the keystone of the new triumphant arc through which we passed to freedom. All right. Now that arc, what is a keystone? Keystone is that rock at the top of an arc that holds the whole arc together. Otherwise, the arc will fall apart. And step 3 is the keystone. Step 3 keeps everything else in place. All right. Now, I'm reading this part because we need to understand that there's always other people involved, and we need to think of others while we're going through this let go or let it stay stage. When we sincerely took such a position, all sorts of remarkable things followed. We had a new employer. So we had new direction. We had some structure in our life. We had somebody, and why I like employers, okay, but I prefer director, because as an arrested alcoholic, and no, not an alcoholic that's been arrested, an arrested alcoholic, right? I need direction. See, when we come into this program, we're looking for direction. And if we're letting them flounder, then gosh, we're not doing what we're supposed to. But that's not topic here. Being all powerful, he provided what we needed. Right? Not what we wanted. No. What we needed. Now, we all kind of know the difference between need and a want. What is a need? Well, it's something that you need. It's something that's provided you so you can finish a task. That would be a need. A want would be probably something most likely materialistic. A want is usually, at least when I was drinking, was a demand. But now it's kind of funny because a lot of my wants, and a lot of times now, God gives me what I want. And what are those? Those are gifts. They don't usually come in material form. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they do. Like my car. That wasn't a gift, though. I had to pay for it. See? But the gift was that I wasn't being charged an arm and a leg, and I could pay it when I could. That was kind of the gift. Well, what is that? Well, was the car really a want or a need? Well, it was a need. But see, the car is a need. The type of car that I want would be a want. All right? So he provided what we needed and sometimes what we wanted if we kept close to him and performed his work well. See, I love my gifts. I love them. Right. I'll let you know why I'm doing this. Because this is what I said to my wife. I don't feel like I've helped the person today that I'm supposed to. There's just there's this gnawing feeling at my gut, right? And more than anything, Dion just wants to chew somebody's ass. So I've got to change some things. And that's why we're talking about this, guy. Established on such a footing, we became less and less interested in ourselves, our little plans and designs. It's because we can start to see the bigger picture. We can start to see the forest for the trees. Grass becomes green. Finally. Grass did, even when I was a kid, grass was not that green. It wasn't. Hi, Ingrid. It's good to see you. It wasn't until I had a higher power in my life that grass really became green and I could see it for what it was. It's not hard for me to find the beauty in things now. Before, I just run around and cut down God's world because it did not suit what I wanted. Right? Yeah. That's exactly what it was. More and more, we became interested in seeing what we could contribute to life. Well, sure, because I never contributed anything. I was never a part of anything. Right? You know, even when we were picking sides for kickball, right? I'm in any school I went to, I was the best kickball player there was. But I was always picked last because they didn't care about winning, but I did because it was the only thing I had. Because if I won, then at least I had something to rub in your face. Right? We didn't do participation trophies and stuff. And I'm not going to talk about that. That's between you and your kids. I'm not going to tell people how to raise their children. I was an absentee father. Oh, okay. What I can contribute to life, not my life, to life for everyone. When I make a move in this community, before I do anything, I think of the effects of everyone. It's just something natural for me. And as we felt new power flow in, it is a new power. It's not going to feel new for long, though. But you'll get these. That's happened to me, where one day you're like, and I call it the 2x4 effect, and all of a sudden you feel all this power. Not power to control other people, but an inward power that continues to make you strive, even though things are arduous. And you can do that and you can enjoy peace of mind. Here's a big part for a lot of us as we discovered we could face life successfully. I had nothing. I had my alcohol, and that was it. There was nothing else. It was all taken. Sure, I was married to my wife, but was I there? Was I available? Was it no? I wasn't. Now, where before I wasn't allowed to contribute to life, and why was that? Because my contribution was not healthy. It wasn't any good. It did not serve any goodness. So I couldn't contribute. What was the other thing? I didn't have anything to contribute. Ouch. I didn't have anything to contribute. Now, when was it that I started contributing? The day that I walked into AA and said, my name is Dion and I'm an alcoholic. At that moment, you started contributing. How did you contribute? I didn't tell you. Because you told everybody else in the room that it don't work out there. That is contributing. That is being honest. See where we can make that really small start. And the really small start to honesty, because we're not honest people, is I'm Dion, I'm an alcoholic. Is probably the very first, besides I don't know, it was the first honest thing I said in AA. Yeah. And that's how it started. As we became conscious of his presence, we began to lose our fear. Okay. Now, when you lose your fear, listen to what it says, the fear of what? Today, tomorrow, the hereafter. What does that mean? It means that we have now understood that living in today, living in the moment is the only time that we can enjoy peace of mind, that I can feel new power, that I can contribute to life, that I can become conscious of his presence. I can't do that without living in the now. That's what that says. People are like, oh, I'm going to lose my fear. That is not what it says. Today, tomorrow, the hereafter. What do we say? If you got 1 foot in yesterday and 1 foot in tomorrow, you're going to piss all over today. There it is. Now you can live in the now. What happens in the now? Happiness, contribution, fellowship. It all happens now. We're doing it right now. Right now. We were reborn. You take that how you want. So what do we let go and what do we let stay? Right? This is probably the simplest way that I can put it. What we let go of is anything out here. Somebody does something to me, I react. Let's check that. Okay, I'm actually going to have to use both of those now. Because when it comes to Dion, it's got to stay. I've got to work through that. I cannot deny it. I cannot fight it. I cannot argue it. I've got to let it be what it is. What is it? Well, it's emotions. You can't let oh, I'm angry. Well, let it go. No. You know what that'll do? It'll make you angrier. It'll make you angrier. No, you got to talk this shit out, man. You got to talk it out. Even if it's to nothing. But this has got to be moving. It can't be done just thinking it. It doesn't work. So, because I hear this, right? I'm it's a big kicker right now, so I'm kind of jumping on a bandwagon here. But this is something I've known for a long time. Okay, so in the simplest form, right? Because now we're thinking of others, but sometimes we get our toes stepped on, don't we? Don't we? Yeah. Usually, I get my toes stepped on because I'm either out of my lane, and not always. Not always. There's bullies. There's people that gaslight. I know, but I'm talking in general about Dion. Because, see, I can't control them, can I? I can't do that. Good evening, Patricia. Happy Thursday. She's not in America. So. It's okay. It's Thursday to me, too. All right? But it's our anger, our depression. When you feel joy, do you let it go? When you feel serenity, are you letting it go? Well, if you're going to follow the pattern of letting go of negative emotions, then you need to let it go, don't you? See, it doesn't fit. Okay. Now, I'm not talking about like extreme depression and things like that. I'm not talking about mental illness. Okay. I'm talking on a day-to-day kind of a thing for us here. So somebody does something to me. Okay. So what is it that I'm going to be letting go? Well, I'm going to be letting go of their action. That's what I'm letting go. They did that. See how I'm already pointing a finger. Okay. Because here's the thing for us alcoholics, or at least for me. I'll go to me on this but it's true for all of us because it's just, it's in your, okay, think of it this way. We share DNA. You and I, we share DNA. Isn't that weird? And it's that one little strand of DNA that sets us apart from the rest of the world, but makes you and I alike. And that's why sometimes I say we, and when I should be saying I, and now I don't remember what I was going to say. Oh, that's okay. There we are. So what I need to let go is the action. Because in my mind, because I have an alcoholic mind, and that's not going to change. You can't change that. Unless you can change your DNA strand, that's not going to change. Okay. So when I say I certainly mean we. Okay. My brain judges automatically almost every time. Almost every time. Now, 99% of the time, or maybe let's give it 95% of the time, I ignore it. Because I just know I know that Dion's first thought probably isn't right. Why is that? Because I'm an alcoholic. It is a mental illness. It cannot be helped, and you cannot force it to change. It is my reaction to whatever this person did that matters. It's all that matters. It is the only thing. If they've made you mad, then be mad. And then move on. I don't know obrigado. I'm presuming that's, I don't know. I don't even want to presume at that one because I just don't know. I'm presuming you're talking to Patricia. That's what I'm assuming. All right. Presuming, not assuming. Actually, that was an assumption, but not a bad one. And nobody's being an ass. Well, I'm here, and I'm always being an ass. Ass in a fun way. Big emotions, man. We got it. You got to sit with those. You do. Because you will find out that it is okay to have calamity and serenity at the same time. That is possible. I don't know that I haven't achieved it all the way, but I'm certainly a lot better at it than I was. Well, I'm depressed. Well, you got to let that go. No. I'm going to tell you what happens. Well, look at what happens with the anger when we stuff it down. It just builds and builds and builds, right? And if we don't sit down, and especially for us alcoholics, okay, and what is that? Well, it's a 10th step. If you've already done a 4th step, and yes, you could still do a 10th step, even if you haven't done your 4th step yet, just so you know, okay? You can work any step that starts with a 1. That includes 10. Why is that important? Because, gosh, while we're trying to get to that 4th step, we don't want to piss off more people. That's why. We don't want to add more to the chaos. That's why we say when you get here, like 80% of the program is just keeping your darn mouth shut. And that does not change. Okay? Character defects are not completely removed. We are not rendered white as snow. No. Nope. Or we'd have Saint Dion and Saint Ingrid and Saint. I know other people are here, and I know who's here, but I don't want to say their name because, right? That's what we would be. And see how that just wouldn't work? Alcoholics would just be, full of saints. Gosh, that wouldn't be very much fun, would it? Would it? What is it that we laugh about in AA? Our fuck ups. Yes, laughing at your problems is actually a very healthy way to get through them. Because what happens when you can laugh at your problems, you know what it leads to? The solution. And that is what we're going after here. It doesn't matter what it is. We're always looking for the solution. As an arrested alcoholic, it's the only thing that I can have. Okay? Now, positivity, let's talk about that for a little bit because there's nothing wrong with having a positive attitude. Okay? Absolutely not. And I'll even go to a point where I don't necessarily agree, but let's say you write a gratitude list and that gives you a good attitude for the day, then you fucking do it. Do it. It doesn't quite work for Dion, but that doesn't mean it doesn't work for you. We all get our own stuff. Right? But we got to realize that no matter whether it was somebody out there that we allowed to affect us, God, I hate saying that. It just makes me want to punch a bully. It does. It pisses me off. It's like, well, fuck, then that's not my problem. That's their problem. Oh, now we got it. It's not my problem. Not my monkeys, not my circus. My circus is over here. Okay. I'm not saying my monkeys behave. Hey, but I take responsibility for my stuff, right? So character defects are never, ever, ever, ever removed. No. And the only thing that is in the program that is totally removed is the obsession for alcohol. And even then, no. The obsession for alcohol, the cravings for alcohol, they may never go away. And what is a craving to me? Well, that's actually craving is a little too far. What would you call it? Like you see somebody like the only beer I actually enjoyed was Stella Artois and Newcastle. So when I see other people drinking that, then it kind of goes through my mind. Every now and again, I'll see somebody on TV. I'm like, oh, a drink would be nice, but that is readily supplanted. What is that? It's a character defect. Mm-hmm. Well, then I need to work on my character defects the same way, right? That's your favorite. Which one is it? Obrigado. You still need to tell me what that is. Hey, don't make me go to Google. And it's one of the most. It's one of the things that I learned. You probably noticed that I'm pretty good at expressing how I'm feeling. I'm usually pretty transparent where I'm at. Okay. I even did that when I was drinking. Right. It's a habit. It's a skill that I learned. Okay. Now I often quite talk about, yeah, I was put away at 14. I see a lot of therapists, but that's where I got that from. That's where I got it from. My parents didn't teach me that stuff. AA did not teach me that stuff. No, I learned that from therapy and being in group homes and not the group homes. The group homes, they don't. Every time you go to a group home, my math teacher hit on me once. She's like, you want to go return this movie? And then she takes me to ice cream like I'm 4. And then she made it very uncomfortable. We were at 38th and Wadsworth, right next to McDonald's. I know it. We were headed west, headed out west. So I've been listening to a lot of Kid Rock. And she turns to me and she said, Dion, if you were a little bit older, I'd fuck the hell out of you. This is the answer I gave. I didn't say nothing. But what went through my head was, I want to sleep with you. So, yeah. So, being able to look inside and be honest with yourself about what's actually going on. Well, as soon as I say, well, but, yet, I hear people trying to use these other words all the time. Therefore, okay, I'm catching it no matter what. But there's always that one little word. You're doing really good, but when you say but, yet, whereas, therefore, something right there, what you just said, everything before it is now gone. It's gone because it wasn't true. That's called build you up, tear you down. And it's actually psychological manipulation. It's a kind way of me relaying my opinion, telling you you're wrong, but it's still the same thing. Happens in AA a lot. I agree with that, but no, you don't. You lied. You're lying. You're lying. You're a liar. How do I know? Because you're an alcoholic and I do the same thing. How I know? How do I know all these people out here are doing the wrong thing? Because I do it too. It's easy for me to figure out Medicaid fraud. I mean, that's like flipping a coin. It's easy. It's not that hard to make a commitment. It's not. Yeah. So, okay. No, that feeling, that's right. The but negates what comes. No, the but negates what came before it. Before what you said. I really like your hair, but if they did this and did that, then it'd be even better. Let's just agree on this. The whole line's of shit. We could agree on that. Right? So whether it negates before or after, it still doesn't work. It doesn't. What kind of trait is that? It's a narcissistic trait. Yeah. Interrupting people. Somebody's saying something, they're just talking, right? And even though you're talking about Fred, they accidentally said John, and I stopped to correct them. Even though I know what they meant, they knew what they meant, but I've just got to stop and say, no, we're talking about Fred. Narcissism. That's narcissism. It's a trait, right? Because yeah, there we go. See, oh, that's come out of my fucking mouth. Yes, it has. Mm-hmm. Yep. And it still happens to me. You bet it does. Because it's so ingrained in me that I have to stop. I need like 4 seconds. Okay, I gotta go look this up because nobody will tell me what it is. So oh, it won't let me. It won't let me copy it from here. I'm just gonna go check it out. I'm kind of done. Aubrey. There we go. Thank you. Okay, that's what that means. And you probably did. You said thank you. There it is. Okay. I was wondering why you said thank you out of the blue. You should have said it means thank you. Thank you. No, thank you. Am I saying it? Okay, let me see if I'm saying it correctly. Obrigado. 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 Okay. So easy for me to miss the obvious. All right. Yeah. You know. All right. So I'm just going to do a little repeating and then we'll go ahead and wrap up. When it comes to letting it go, it has more to do with something that is probably situational, of something that somebody else has done to you. That's usually the let go part. What is it that we let go? Well, things that we can't change. There we go. So what does that lead us back to? The serenity prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. That is letting go. Thank you, Patricia. I appreciate that. Well, here's the thing. I kind of feel like when I take 4 or 5 seconds to learn that word correctly, what I'm saying is I respect who you are. That's what I'm saying. Absolutely. It's a form of respect. Because what I was holding space. I was holding space. And that means something to people. I'm really good at that. Again, because I know what it feels like to not be a part of. I know that. And since people think I'm cool or whatever, then great, you're my friend, so you're cool too. See, it works. There we go. So God grant me the strength to accept the things I cannot change. Those are the things that I let go of. Okay. That is going to change for you. That is going to change for you. Maybe. It changed for me. I'm working on changing a community, right? But I can't change people themselves. It did show up, honey. I just didn't catch it in time. Not only that, but I'm Gen X, and these emojis mean nothing to me. I mean, I just see them. This is the way I see emojis. You're just putting up, because emoji means emotion. To me, it's probably wrong. So when you put that, You're actually saying something. I'm not reading it. But when you did this, ding. So what did Ingrid just do? What did she just do? She met Dion where he's at. That's holding space for people. You just did it for me too. Yeah. Courage to change things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Now, I think we could all agree. Yeah, but your brain works a little differently than mine. If, you know, and that's another good point. We're both Gen X, but see how our needs were a little different there. Yeah. I didn't even think, my brain didn't even think to look at that as a complete sentence. it didn't happen for him. But now I'll probably start doing it a little bit more. Right. But you see how all that went? I learned 2 new things here. Not one person went out of their way to make me feel stupid. Now, did they? See, this is what it's all about. Right? That wisdom to know the difference. Okay. How can we do that? It's going to have to be the deepest honesty you've ever had with yourself. The truth doesn't always hurt. Sometimes it's the most beautiful thing in the world. It hurts often, but that's because it's the truth. But you know what the truth does? It sets you free. It sets you free. Right? I'm coming on here and I'm sitting here. This is my second try at trying to tell the truth. It's harder for me to do this and go over things when somebody else is here talking with me because you're not on my mindset. I'm on a different mindset, and it doesn't matter who it is. It's just harder. I learned from my kids too. You bet. You bet. Yeah, they teach me stuff all the time. What does this mean? Dad, what's this and this? Thank you. Okay, I got this, and I don't understand any skurska. Now I'm like my grandpa. Yeah, what in the hell does this mean? And it's funny because in my mind, I'm still fucking 15 years old. Sometimes I go do something, I'm like, when the fuck did I learn that? Putting a door handle on the garage, I went and did it. I'm like, that's wrong. And I knew exactly what was wrong. So when we do things and we repeat them, we start to get much under, yeah. See, and acronyms I'm great at. It's kind of like this in school. You were either good at English or math, but you were not great at both of them. You didn't like one of those, and then somebody here is going to say, oh no, I did great at both. You watch. It'll probably be Ingrid because she's that type. And it's okay. I'm wrong. But on a whole, because I shouldn't say everybody, but generally, we'll put it that way. Now, see how I had to take something so simple. Well, a lot of times what I'm doing here is I'm just telling you exactly what's going into my brain. Because then and because you guys ever been on here, somebody says something, I go, you'll see it on my face. Well, I'm going to have to do something about that, aren't I? Okay, I'm going to give one more example of this, and then I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. This was quite some time ago. It was last year, I think. Within this last year, we were working on Al-Anon coming into the church, and Al-Anon was speaking to the church about that, and then they were talking about money. And in my mind, it was going to work a certain way, and I've been working on this, and it was my fucking club, and and I'm like, no, it's not going to work that way. In my head, that's what went in my head. Outside, I got mad, and I took a couple steps back because I'm like, damn, why are you getting mad? And people ask, well, Dion, is there something going on? I'm like, I said, ignore me. I'm not getting what I want and it's pissing me off. I'll get over it. That was all I had to say. Because that was the truth. And then they were like, okay. That was it. See how it doesn't need to be more. It doesn't. And if you could take a look inside and be honest with yourself, and the question be, instead of the question be, why the fuck are they fucking with me? The question, because that's going to be my first thought, right? My next question needs to be, Dion, what's going on? What's the problem here? And that's what I need to get to. Now, did I let that go? No, I let it stay for about 10 seconds and then I let it go. It didn't need to be there anymore. But I worked it first. See, I cannot let go of an emotion until I finally figure out what it actually is and what it's about. Then I can let it go. So our emotions, we got to let stay sometimes for a little bit. It's okay. This too shall pass. Right? Just like I said earlier, when you're happy, you don't let it go. So don't do it with your depression. Don't do it when you're, let's just go with sad instead of depressed, because depressed sounds so clinical. And it moves us into another area. So when we're sad about something, okay, grieving is not a part of it. That's a different thing. Grieving can last the rest of your life. Yeah, a little thing. You bet. There's the other day we had pizza. I had the crust left over and I just started crying because my dog wasn't there to give it, and she'd been dead 9 months. And I just started crying because I missed her. Even though she annoyed the fuck out of me. But I miss her. I don't hear the jingling anymore. She's not under my feet. Yeah. So, all right. Like I said earlier, the reason that I did this is because I had a feeling in my gut that I hadn't helped who I was supposed to help today, but it's gone now. So, there we go. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. I love you. Peace out and have a day.